Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I haven't spoken to you in so long and thought I might just show you a desk tour because we haven't really, or at least I haven't really shown off my sort of in-between reinvigorated desk space. So if you're interested in seeing kind of a walkthrough of what I have on my desk, keep on watching. So the first thing I want to point out is my monitor. I do work on a 27-inch iMac monitor, so it isn't a computer. It's actually plugged into my laptop, which is right over to the left of the space. As you can see, it's on a dock right over here, and I keep that plugged in and sort of separate. I used to have both screens going, but I found that it was actually super distracting for me, and so just keeping the focus on the one screen was enough, and because it was a big enough screen, it did the job perfectly. Speaking of the item that powers my work, it is the 2018 MacBook Pro. I think all the specs are sort of like maxed out, and that is what I am using to primarily drive all of my workflows, and it's been working out pretty well. Sometimes I'll have Figma open, Chrome, Slack, my email agent, and it seems to be working really smoothly so far. It's only when I start opening up the editing software that it gets a little bit wonky, but honestly, if you're a student starting out, you don't need a MacBook Pro. I think just a used MacBook Air might even do. It's not until you start, you know, running some really heavy software on there, the Adobes, that you will need to upgrade. But I think starting off, you don't need a MacBook Pro. I got this from work. So that's what's powering my computer. Some other things that you might notice on my desk is I am using an external keyboard and mouse, and that's just the standard one from Apple. It's not the most ergonomically friendly, let me say, but this is what my company gave me, and I haven't had like many issues thus far. I do know that the mouse, there is more ergonomic mouse that I am looking at purchasing, but for now I love that the mouse has the gestures that mimic the trackpad, and so that's one of the main things that I love using the Magic Mouse. Another thing you might notice right over here is a little drink with a coaster. So I'm very proud of this because this means that I am now an adult, that I drink, I place drinks on coasters, because I realized before, as I'm putting it just on this cork mat, it was gathering condensation, and you know, as I'm placing other things on there, it would get wet. So wasn't a fan, bought myself a cheapy marble-esque leather coaster, and yeah, it's been working out pretty well. Next up, I'll probably have to point out this big cork mat. The reason why I bought this was because the Magic Mouse wasn't actually working on this sort of like glass desktop that I have, and instead of having sort of just the mouse area being on a mouse pad, I liked the look of sort of like an entire area that sort of just like, you know, nicely sections off a work area. And this is, I believe, it's from IKEA, and oh, the name is right here. It's called the Susig. It was actually right underneath here. And yeah, I think this was really cheap. I think it was like $7, to be honest, and it's been working out really well in terms of being able to place things on here, and it's not sliding all over the place like it would have if it was on the glass top. Another IKEA purchase that you notice perched over here is my phone holder, and it actually holds two phones for me. This is just an Android test device that I have. It's an old, I think it's a Galaxy Note, and I have my iPhone 10 here, and it's just really cool, like a really basic piece of, I guess you can call it technology, or just a really basic phone holder, and I like that it's sort of perched up so that I can just tap on it and activate the screen without having to like lift it up and hold it. And so it's come in really handy throughout the day as I need to check, you know, designs or anything like that. I'm able to just sort of see how it appears on the screen. Next up, I have a lamp back there, and it actually is a staple for most of my workspaces to have some sort of light source, because I do live in Toronto, where you know, in the winter, I think it gets dark around 4:30, so it's good to have an extra light source that isn't your main light source near your monitor, so that there isn't a huge contrast between the darkness of the room and your monitor brightness. And so I was gifted this lamp. It is called the BenQ e-reading LED lamp, and it actually is very sleek in terms of its design, its profile. So it's very slim, you can actually tilt it, and there's actually a huge distribution of light despite how thin it is. Like, it actually shows a lot of light, and I like that when you tap it, you can actually adjust the brightness, but also adjust the temperature, so how warm or how cool the light is, depending on what your environment and what your preferences are. Another must-have on my desk is my iPad Pro with the Magic Keyboard. I love that if I need to, I can just sort of walk around the house with this and kind of conduct meetings or just do sketches on here, rather than disconnecting my laptop and bringing that around. Yeah, I mean, this was like an extra splurge buy for me. From me to me, because I just wanted to, and I just wanted to spoil myself. It's been a rough couple of months, guys, and so I just spoiled myself, and I really love using this for sketches. What other things do I usually do on here? There's Figurative, which is the, I believe, iPad version that runs Figma. So I've been playing around with that, and it's actually been quite good and robust in terms of its functionality. It covers a lot of what Figma, you know, does, so really happy with that. The next few things are not essential for design, but it just brings a little bit of inspiration to my workplace, and it just, you know, adds a little bit of personality and pizzazz, and just has a little bit more color and sparks a little bit more inspiration. I like to have plants or fresh flowers, if I could, around my workplace, just to give, again, that personality and that little spark of joy. I also always have a candle. I burn candles more so in the colder months than the warmer months, for obvious reasons, but I think they just give off like a really nice ambient glow to the room, and it just feels really cozy, and it just makes you kind of feel like right at home. I mean, I am at home, but like kind of makes you feel like you're working, but in like a very aesthetically pleasing environment. Some other items that I have at the bottom of the lamp are hand sanitizer and some pens, as well as a little fake plant. And again, that's just for aesthetic reasons, but you'll notice that my desk setup is pretty much set up in a way where it's priming me to do my best work. It's not necessarily everything that's functional makes its way on here, because there's always things that are non-functional. Sometimes I'll eat lunch here, and sometimes I'll, you know, do some other things while I'm watching something here, just because it makes me feel inspired. And so I encourage all of you to design your workplaces or workspaces in a way where it is conducive to the type of work that you do. If you need full concentration and you know, can't have sort of distractions, then I would recommend clutter-free. Remove as many things from your desk as possible. Don't have so many decor pieces like I do, and that would be conducive to the work that you need to do. But because I'm in a creative field, I love having a little bit of color, pops of personality here and there, just so that it makes me feel inspired and in a very playful, open, creative mood to do my best work. I have a not so ergonomically friendly but quite aesthetic desk chair, and it is from Wayfair, and I like it for what it can do. The wheels are good, it can move up and down, it has okay back support, but would I recommend sitting here for hours and hours at a time? No. I like to switch up my environment so that my lower back doesn't start to hurt, but I would recommend, if you are only spending a few hours in your chair a day, then, you know, feel free to invest in this. If not, you're spending more time, invest in a better chair so your back doesn't break. This looks awesome, but again, I'm kind of trading the function and fashion part. I'm overextending on the fashion and the aesthetics for the functionality of this chair. So it's not uncomfortable by any means, but I would say it doesn't really promote good posture. So buy at your own risk, but I really like how it looks in this room. And then the desk. So this is actually a corner desk. And this was a gift from one of my best friends. She got it from StruckTube and didn't really use it. It was in her office, but she actually works out of salon now, and so she doesn't really need a home office, and she kindly gifted this to me, and I gave it a nice home in my home office. So really thankful for her. I'm thinking of redoing the office space in the near future, so keep an eye out for that makeover. Oh, one more thing. I think it's important to mention this because it's a pretty crucial part of my day, but I actually have a elevated footrest, and that's because this chair and the way that my body's positioned when I'm, you know, kind of like ergonomically at least aligned to my keyboard and my monitor, my feet are sort of dangling on the ground. So I just have like a little shoebox down there to keep my feet on a surface while I'm working in the kind of like right posture, right position. So yeah, that's like my secret little trick is to put a little box or something elevated down there so your feet are always, you know, kind of on a surface and it's not just dangling, because that's even worse for your posture. I am drinking a ton of water nowadays. If you don't know why, head over to my Instagram and look at some of my most recent posts for why. But I have a huge 2-liter bottle of water with me all the time. Thermo flask, so it keeps water cold. I keep this next to me just to ensure that I am drinking water. You know, sometimes when you're working from home, you can easily be so sucked into sitting in one place for so long, but I find drinking water not only keeps you hydrated, but it keeps you moving because you gotta get up and go to the bathroom. So I really recommend having water nearby, especially something that is a little bit more substantial. I know some people use the cup method, so like they'll have a cup and they'll drink the water, so then that forces them to get more water. But for me, I like to keep track of how much water I'm drinking, and so having a 2-liter bottle by me, I fill this up twice a day, or maybe sometimes I'll drink like 2.5 bottles of these a day just to stay hydrated. And so that's kind of my main tip, is make sure that you're staying hydrated, because your body isn't expending that much energy, but you should still be keeping your hydration levels up. I hope you enjoyed this mini desk tool. I'll link all of the items that I mentioned in my description box just in case you're interested in adding it to your own workplace. And yeah, let me know, you know, what is on your desk that I don't have on my desk, or, you know, what's the most interesting part of my desk, which, I mean, it's pretty basic, but maybe something's interesting to you. Let me know down below, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.